Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Let's make sure you all can hear me. If you please type the number one in that chat box and know that you can, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you. Morning, Kevin. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. And all traders here, Kevin said thank you for that. Thank you for a great trading year. It was, right? Guys, sorry, there's no video today. Of course, once they reboot the system, I've got to uninstall and reinstall the camera, and I did not want to start playing that game before we got started here today. So every time Microsoft does an update, and I've done everything in my power to stop it from these damn things without getting permission, but all right. So as we do get started here, keep in mind that everything we look at is for educational purposes. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like here, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance before ever taking on that trade, that setup, or that indicator. I know that I say that a lot, right? I talk about risk profile, risk tolerance. And I was playing around with something today, and I was using ChatGPT, and I gave it some information on wealth builders and said, go look at our website and tell me what you see. And it came back and it used the words risk profile and risk tolerance inside of the content that it gave me back of what, with the questions I was asking it on what we were doing. But that was pretty interesting that it picked up on that. It was so prevalent in and or around our site that it found that phrase to be important enough to repeat in their content back as far as what wealth builders did. So pretty cool, but definitely the truth, folks. And that's part of what we'll talk about today. But making sure that whatever you're trading, whether I find something, you find something, your brother-in-law, the next door neighbor, the cat had dirt on their paws and stepped on the paper and it landed right next to Microsoft's ticker symbol. You said, it's a sign. Maybe, but it's a sign that you need to go and check that it fits your own risk before you take that trade on. All right. So as we go here, guys, we're getting towards the end. And for me, we're there. I mean, this is the end of the year. I don't do a whole lot the last 2 weeks of the year as far as trading. I've got 2 classes to teach this week in the evenings, and that is because we're losing a whole week at the end because next week we are closed. So we've got check-in tonight is the 18th, right? We've got Trading You tonight, and that's at 8 p.m. Check-in's at 7 p.m. For Inner Circle. Mastermind tomorrow on the 19th. Monster Market Movers on the 20th. And then Mastering the Trade, that is for everybody that is in Power Option Plays, comes up on Jan 4th. Power Hour, the next Power Hour will be on January 2nd, right, which is a Tuesday. It's the next one we will be doing. And Friday, this Friday coming up, there is no Trading Coaches Playbook. Market closes at 12. I think it's 12. It's either 12 or 1, but we're sending everybody home at that point. So we follow market hour. So we will not have a Trading Coaches Playbook. Power Option Plays, Covered Call, E-mini. Well, Power Option Plays, Covered Call. Right now on the regular schedule, E-mini Think Tank, and that's this week. No classes from December 25th to December 29th, and that's on all of them. That's pop, that's covered call, that's the extent of it, right? No more of them whatsoever, okay? And Vega is December 22nd, which is Friday. All right, so we've got a follow us page, so make sure you're keeping up with all the content that we put out there. We're doubling down over and over and over again on social media. So I have not looked yet today, but we've been very blessed that some of our videos have gone viral on social media. So that was pretty cool. Top 5 to be able to see. One of them in particular, and I just got to go over to that page. One of them in particular was we're getting about 10,000 views a day on it right now. I don't know where it slows down and where it changes and so forth. Let's see. We're at about 230,000 views on it right now. So over 250,000 views, just almost 250,000 views just on that one video. So and it was on options. It's an options-based video. So make sure you check out some of the different social platforms out there, folks. Here's our Trading Boss Manifesto. This basically was put together to help us first understand what it was for our students, what we're trying to accomplish, right? This is you as a trading boss. This is what it means to us. So you can go ahead and download that on all of our sites. Robert J. Roy, Trading Like a Boss, WBHQ.com. I couldn't think of that one. Right? And then have you been naughty or nice in the markets this year? Get ready for the Santa Claus rally sales. So you're going to see emails come through. I know we had a meeting this morning and someone chimed in and, hey, I saw it. He said, I clicked naughty just to see what happened. He goes, someone else click nice because I want to see what it does. So you'll be surprised what you get when you click one versus the other. So by all means, go ahead and take advantage of this, guys. You're going to see it coming out over the next week or so. It'll kind of keep you engaged in the market a little bit as well. All right. Oh, by the way, there will be no SPX video this or next week. Yeah, this week or next week there will be no SPX video. Again, market closes at noon. My team is gone. Right, I will not keep them back to process videos or any of that stuff. So we'll pick back up in the new year on SPX. Okay, that'll be the same for anything with Trade with Rob. We'll wrap it up this week, and then the following week we will not have any. We'll come back the week after. And Kevin said, I saw the naughty or nice email. Of course, I selected nice. Not that nice is bad. Nice is good, right? It's just you get a different result depending on what you pick. That's all. All right. What trades have y'all done? Go ahead and drop those puppies in. I want to see the trades you did today, right? Funded, not funded. It really doesn't matter. We're going to consider everything non-funded. We do not talk about funded trades here. Everything we do is for educational purpose. That's who we are as an education company, right? You must be a licensed broker to physically talk about funded trades, and we're not. Stephanie said I did both. Okay. There you go. All right. So no trades for Brenda yet. Stephanie said closed out an iron condor on GE today for a 15% profit, done for the year. That's it. Right. I get it. Aaron's this morning. Yeah, sure. A long call. All right. Excellent. There you go. There you go. So, I mean, there's still opportunities in the market. I got a lot of family stuff I take care of in these last 2 weeks. This is kind of my quasi vacation. This week is my vacation preparation week. What does that mean? Well, next week I'm on vacation. So this week is just getting ready for vacation. Right? It's actually all my wrap up stuff for the end of the year happens this week. Right. And then I'm done after that. So, SMCI tripled a call. Nice job, Deborah. Really nice. Chewy up 30%, bought on Friday. Ooh, baby. Very good, Kevin. Let's see. Jennifer said, you and we need the time off. Yes. Yes. We all need to recharge and, get those batteries going and so forth. Now, don't get me wrong. I won't be trading actively. I may look into some things on a new strategy that I'm looking at right now, but I'm not going to be actively looking at the market saying, ooh, what's out there today? What candidates am I looking at? Nope. I may not even update my candidates. I'll actually just leave it open on the computer. That's not true. It'll update by itself, the charts. So, all right. So for me today, guys, what happened? I got one Q's, again, everything non-funded, right? One Q's trade off today, and it was on a pivot point, right? So I saw the move this morning when we got a open flat and a pullback, and we started to move higher. And I wasn't excited about that move there this morning, that move up on that first candle. I did not know if it was going to sustain or not. We got a pullback on that third candle. We kind of stopped right at our actual pivot point, which is 405.02 on Qs, and we got a nice bounce, right? From that bounce, so if you took a pivot trade there, right, we're looking at less than $2 between the pivot and the R1. R1 is at 406.15, pivot is at 405.02. Narrow range, which is part of my hesitancy of wanting to do something this morning on that first candle. The fifth or sixth candle, whatever that green one was, when we got our bounce, we started climbing higher. That was the opportunity. So that was the entrance in. No midpoint exit here. This got out. So this was at 9:55, and you're out at 10:05. Okay. Non-funded trade, great little move, $1 in jingle, not much, but a little over $1 move on the stock, about $1 on the stock. It's about 45, 50 cents, depending on where you pulled the trigger. Right, when I hit my enter, I hesitated a little bit and got 45. Had I just done it when I wanted to 20 seconds prior, I would have got my 50. But overall, very satisfied with what we did, right? Very happy. Hey, Scott. So Scott said, I closed out my Riot bull put spread trade, though I messed it up and accidentally rolled the short leg and only wound up with 7 cents when I finally closed it out. But never a bad thing, Scott, when you did something wrong and you still came out of it good, right? So never a bad thing. Kevin said, Rob, is there a way that I can switch this program to my TV instead of my phone. You know, it's not us. It's whatever your system allows, you know. So I've never gone with a phone from Zoom to a television. I'm not sure. Uh, Lee, I'm not sure if you know that. Maybe you could just shoot a quick message over to Sean and ask him, Lee. I'm pretty sure it's Lee in here with me, right? I think so. Yeah, Lee, if you could do that and just ask Sean, that would be great. All right, we'll see if we can find out, Kevin. I know it's hard on a phone to watch sometimes. Yeah, it's cast to TV, Jennifer. Exactly. I just don't know if you could do that with Zoom. I've never done it. So if anybody here has, Sean would be the one to ask from my office there. He's the tech guru. For those of you that are NCIS buffs, he is McGee, I am Gibbs. Okay. I don't want all the technical gyro. Does it work? Yes. No. That's all I need to know. I don't need to. Well, if you take the square root of the circumference of the no. Scott said I saw that pivot on the Qs when it was already more than halfway into the move. Yeah, exactly, Scott. And it was fast. It was only 10 minutes and you were in and out of that trade, right? So it moved quick. All right. So we got 2 trades sent here from Amelia on her Trade Watch alerts. So you got a pivot to midpoint scalp, and she did this on the Qs. She got in at $1.79. She got out at $2.18, right? So you're looking at 2-minute candles here, right? She came down. She bought on one of these 2 candles here. I'm not sure exactly which one. Both of them had a good parabolic star going. So she got in at $1.79. Watched it run up. It got to the midpoint. She pulled half the trade. She pulled half of the trade off and sold it at 218. So if it was at 219, 79, 89, 09, 89, 99, 09, 19, 40, 39 cents, right? So overall, 39-cent move, 21% in 32 minutes. Not bad whatsoever. Not bad at all. Actually, Lee just dropped a link in there to Trade Watch Alerts if you guys want to see a little bit about it. And then she did a debit magic spread, right? Debit spread magic. So she did Netflix, 5 contracts of each. So the vertical spread she did, right? You see in green at 9:33 this morning. You got to buy and sell, right? 475, 480 on the calls, right? The price 34.45, 31.75. She spent $2.70 was her debit. That's what she had to take out of pocket. Okay. At 9:43, 10 minutes later, she exited that trade. It's in red, got a credit of 330. Which means she picked up 50 cents on the way out on that trade. She bought on this breakout, and she got out here when she got her 50 cents. Right. So overall, really nice, strong move. Leave it to Amelia. She's a trooper. She's going to push this right through the end of the year to see what the heck she comes up with as far as trades. Right. She's just amazing at that. All right. So very cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P 500. All right, let's talk about the market and where it's at, what's going on, what's happening. All right. Okay, here we go. So it's got a pivot of 77.77. Wowzer. If you thought 7 was lucky, how about 4 of them? Right? Very cool. So we had a really nice breakout here. So overall move has been absolutely outstanding, right? Great move. Okay. On the S&P 500. Let me back this up just a little more. And I'm going to highlight a pattern in here. We're going to go from where the fib started. We're going to go to that highest high that it put in there. And we're going to measure a pullback in here to the lowest low. It pulled back. And here's the 236 or 23.6% of that move. So if we measure from A to B, and if that was $100, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And then this pullback down to here to C. Now we're looking at another equivalent of A to B move, but this time we C to D. Okay. D would be 100%. So we've got a 42.92 right here, which is 23%, 236. We have another one here at 45.97, which is 61.8%. And then we're looking way up here at 49.01. Right? Let's see. I thought I had a 4,900 there last week. I don't know what happened. Let me just put that in place. All right. No, let me go ahead and let's bring it in. We don't really need to be that far out now. You saw where I put the ABC in there, just for the scrunching down part is right here. Okay, so we fall that 4901, 4902 falls right on top of that 4900, that dash dot line. Okay, in there. So if you're looking at where the S&P goes, that's the target. You're going to hear individuals talk about 4900, but they're not talking about it for the same reason. All right, they're talking about it because that's a measure of where they believe it's going, but not based on fibs. Right? So we've got this 4802, sorry, not 4802, 48, come on, 4820, 67, I think it is 62, 67, something like that. That is the all-time high that we put in on S&P. Right back in here. You can see if we go really far, I mean, that's it. That's the all-time high, okay? So that's the first place we're going to see some move up and a hesitation. It's our next 4,800 level, right about there. We have a -1 also aligning right there. And we're not that far away, right? As we look at it, we're at 47.46. We're looking at 4,800. We're looking at 54 points, 55 points, okay? So really close to hitting that level. If you're looking at a bigger picture where it goes to, I think the 4,900 is going to be, I don't doubt we're going to hit the 4,800. I think we're going to break the recent highs at the highest highs we've seen on the S&P. I don't doubt that for a second. When it does break from there, that 4,900 is where I see it headed to next. Okay. When we look at bigger pictures, if we go and look at a weekly chart, we've just exploded out of that downtrend that we were just in for months. We've just exploded. Okay. Kevin, take a look at the chat from Lee. We just exploded to the upside there. What a great move, a great breakout. And last week, phenomenal. I mean, if we take this off of the chart and we look, so this week was 57 points, right? That's the last candle on the chart. It was 1 week, 57-point move, 99-point move, 45-point move, 35-point move. Here we got a $10 move, and we got a 115-point move. So massive, massive move on the market, on the NASDAQ, for that breakout of that recent swing high, the 52-week high that we had in there, right? And then we're kind of moving from there, okay? So let me put that back. If we're going to look at the monthly, it doesn't look as, we don't have as many candles breaking out because there's four to five candles in each one of those bars, okay? Of course, we still have another 2 weeks left, 2 full weeks, including today, left in the market for this candle to finalize, right? This is a 5-Friday month, meaning the first of the month was on a Friday, so we have an extra week in there. But last month was just absolutely amazing. Again, we looked at 115 points from that 1 week. Here we're at 375 points for the month. And the month before was 95, 220, 80, 135, 270, right? So what a great move on the markets right now. And again, pressing up near that 48.1862, which is the highs that we've had, right? 48.1862, okay? And that was January of 2022. So because we only look back, normally you go 52 weeks, right? Which is, in this case, 12 bars, right? Because we've got a monthly bar up here. So overall pattern, I'm liking it a lot on the S&P, right? On where the move is, wait for pullbacks, of course. VIX, we're up. We're up on, when I say we're up on the S&P today, 27 points, and the VIX is up 13 cents. Why is the VIX going up when the market's going down? The VIX should be going the opposite direction. You know what? You're right. But when we're sitting at 12.5 on the VIX, ain't a whole lot of room to go. This is not much room left. We're so far down historically, folks. If we look, let's see, if I turn this into a monthly candle, let's do a weekly instead. If I turn it into a weekly, no, we got to do monthly. If I turn it into a monthly candle, look where it is before we finally get down below that $12 and change level right here. We're coming all the way back here to 2019, November of 19. And then truly low below that is 2017 into 18. right, when we were at 917, right, which was extremely difficult to get a decent selling position, premium-wise, extremely difficult to get a different premium position in there. It just was not easy at all. So we've got such a low VIX. Listen, I like that we get away with paying a lot less for our positions right now, but you cannot tie the S&P to the VIX penny for penny right now and say, oh, we should be going this way because the VIX should be going this way because the S&P did that. It's not quite aligning properly because we're too close to zero, right? And there's really nothing we can do about it. It's just, and at this point, does VIX even matter? 1240 versus 1280. Okay. I don't care. I don't care, right? It's just a measure right now to help us understand where things are headed and what might the next steps be for us as a trader. What's the next thing I'm looking to do? Okay. Excellent. All right. Let me take it back into presentation today. And 2023, a year in review, right? I want to go back and I want to look at some things that took place that transpired this year in the market. I want to talk about goods and bads, and I'm going to ask each of you to answer 2 questions for me. Okay? Well, and this is how you're going to do it. You're going to type in the word right or the letter R for right. Okay? And you're going to say what went right for this year. And then you're going to type in the letter W or wrong. I'd rather you type the words in, but wrong. Do that. Right and wrong. What went wrong for this year? I don't need dissertations. I'm not looking for that. Right? What did you do that if you're doing a year-end review, which you should be. If you're not, you should be. Right? You should be looking at what just transpired in this last year. What did you do that worked? What did you do that did not? Right? And then analyzing what you could do differently, better coming into the new year. Right? There's always room for improvement no matter how good you are. I've never seen a trader that I felt was there. That they're like, they just can't do any better. Not happening. Absolutely not happening. Okay? There's no way in God's great earth that anybody is perfect. Okay? So if we look at it, first off, I want to talk, and you guys keep typing in, I'll give you a moment to do that, but I want to look at the S&P 500, and I want to talk bigger picture for the year. Okay? And we're going to do it on a daily chart. So I'm going to back this out until I get to Jan, okay, which we're right here. So this blue bar is January 3rd, right? That's the blue bar right there, that light blue bar. That is where the year started, okay? So we're going to go a little further than that. So our blue bar is right here. We had a run up and a pull down, and then from there we got a nice little bounce, okay? Now we can step back with a bigger lens and look at the whole market for the course of the last year and say, okay, what did it do? Right? And I'm going to bring this back in now. So let me take the symbol grid down. Maybe we can go a little bit further there. What do you think? No, I don't think so. That's as close in as I can get. Okay. So when we step back, position number 3 in the chair, I see this really nice run up and a pullback. Now the pullback came down almost to where we started, right? That run off. So we had a nice fib in there, and that 4181, when I look at things that worked well this year, the major fib lines on the indices worked extremely well, right? That is something that for next year, I am doubling and tripling down on the importance of those levels. I focused on them in the past, never before like I did this year, right? And what am I talking about? For those of you that might be looking at this going, wait, Rob, what do you mean? So let me grab, I don't know what I got here. Let's get a pen with a color that's not white. Okay. So this black line right here, this dark solid black line that I just kind of colored over there, right? It goes horizontal, right? That is 4181 is that line. And that line is a major Fibonacci level. Okay. Major fib level. But we ran right into that level and we closed right there and failed right off it. So that breakout right above that major level was a false breakout, which and I can't take those. I don't do well with them for stress reasons and others. I just don't do well there. But we pierced out of there and we failed. So if you took the breakout, you got slapped. We came and broke out here intraday on that 4181 and failed again right inside of there. Right? We finally did break out. We got a failure. But I would feel much more confidence, not the right word, comfortable had I taken that trade, and I may have. I would have to go back and look if I was trading on that day or not. But I feel much more comfortable with that breakout happening and we got a retest and a bounce that I took it than just taking the actual breakout, and we failed. Okay. All right. So now what? So you had to go against you and it cost you a little bit. Not a big deal, because what happened? We broke up, we pulled back and closed right at the 41.81. Actually, let's see where we closed. On that candle right there, that day, we closed at 41.7983. 41.7983. Can we round it to 49.80? And we're looking at 49.81. 41.81, right? Is that black line? 41.81. We closed right there. We bounced. We got a great catalyst from there. Whatever little bit you gave back on this previous trade, you freaking crushed it on the next pullback, right? We got a great run. We put in a good fib from there. Nice pullback. The 236s worked. I did notice that the pullback to 236 was not always as consistent this year as it has been in the past, right? That doesn't mean it didn't work. Pullbacks to 236 were still awesome, but I felt that the previous year gave us a little bit better pullbacks to the 236. I think we had a lot of runs like this that just took off, and it took months without any real pullbacks, right? Small pullbacks, but this hesitation pullback we saw less of, where we got pullbacks, partial way, and breakouts took place in there. Okay, so that 41.81, again, we come back here. We closed on this day right here. Let's see. We put our mouse right there. We closed on that day at 41.8142. So guess what? 42 freaking cents. We missed it by this time. $1.12 or something the last time. 41 cents here. Our low was 41. That was 41.8142. Sorry, the close was 41.8677. All right. The next day we gapped down. And we got down to an opening price of 41.76, we'll call it, 41.75.99. We hit a high of 41.8360 and a fail, right? That failure, why did we fail there? Right? Well, see, the line just didn't work, Rob. Well, did it not work? Or was it the 10% correction that came in from the previous 52-week high that caused it to trigger that pull back, that move down one more day, and then the catalyst to this amazing breakout had taken place. This amazing run just had crushed it, okay? So we got a really nice move in here then from there, but you've got to look at this from the bigger picture standpoint. What do I mean by that? We were not in a bullish uptrend any longer at that point. We're not in between these two lines in here. We're now in a bearish downtrend, right? And if we look from these two lines right here, that was move one, right? The second diagonal uptrend line is here, and the third bullish one came in here. Okay, and then we had the bearish one, of course, inside of here. So we're inside of this move, and as we're coming up, and I'm getting interviewed on shows like Benzinga and being asked, is this the point? Should we be taking bullish trades? And I'm saying I'm not ready yet to be. And when I talk bullish trades, it's not more about investment than trading, right? But something you're holding overnight. I'm not ready yet. Why? Because we're still in a bearish neutral bias at this point. So the next day we gap, we run, great move. We're in a pure neutral bias. We break out. Okay, now we're bullish, not true bull at this point. We're bullish. All right, let's go ahead and bring this in a little bit more even. Okay, so bring it bigger. We're bullish. We break out over here. Right, there's the 55. Right, we go a couple of days of sideways. Why? Because we're waiting for moving averages to catch up. The 8 moving average crosses the 55. It puts us into a bullish bias where I can now take a directional trade aggressively, meaning less contracts, but we can take the aggressive trade. It took a few more days until we got the 21 to cross up above the 55, and we had what was now called a true bullish bias. And if you waited, you finally got your pullback right about here to that 45.42 level, and you got a really nice bounce. Now we're at 47.42-ish. You got 200-point move has taken place in the last month. Okay? So when you look at the entire year as to what's happened, I think there was a lot of consistency in what we were able to see. But I have said it so many times this year, I personally have had a much greater focus on my position in the chair than I ever have before. Right? And again, you think about, or you focus on what you think about, right? And for me, I'm constantly thinking about where you are all at, what you're all doing, and how do I lend my battle scars to you to help you understand better the things that might work for you to help keep you protected through some of these tougher times. Because they weren't all easy times this year. This was still a tough year. Excuse me, still a tough year. And the reason it was a tough year, again, 2023 in review, the reason it was a tough year is two major wars going on, right? The increase in inflation, the gas prices off the charts, okay? The political battles that are going on right now, it is just ridiculous what we're going through, right? We had to navigate that arena along with what's going on in the market and literally pivot one piece against the next. Excuse me. I've always focused on the Fed and what the percentage was that they were going to raise or lower interest rates. I've always paid attention to that, but nothing like I had this year. Never, well, not never, I shouldn't say that. It's been 8 or 9 years, it's more, from 2007. So what is that, 17, 15 years? From 2007, 8, around there, yes. A couple of years after, on and off, yes. Right now, with what's going on with the Fed, this year, very heavily focused, right? So when we talk about what worked, what didn't work, position in the chair worked extremely well. Fib lines worked extremely well, in the major fib levels, meaning the 41, 81 levels and so forth, right? And we have a chart of them. And I've listed it here before. We've got a chart of them that just list out all of the levels out there. Maybe I'll do a video on it and put it up on social. Okay. We look at bias. Bias worked extremely well this year, right? We stuck with bias very well, right? And when I look at here, let me grab one thing, right? Don't know where it's going to open. We will see. Wrong one. Wrong spreadsheet. Okay, good. So right now, and we have closed trades right now. 2 of these 3 trades have to come off of here and be moved to another sheet, okay? They've got to go over here to our closed trades, right? I have 1 trade still open, which is Square. Since I'm doing this, let's try that again. I need to just do it all so it works, right? Okay, good. So on Square right now, we're at $3,607.50, right? Let me show you that in a second. We got 1 trade open. There are 502 lines on this page right here. The first 3 lines are header pages, which means we did 499 trades this year. This is the highest number of trades we have ever taken in a year before. And what do I accredit some of that to? Well, a big part of it is we don't have multiple $3,000 massive moving stocks with huge open interest and tight bid-ask spreads like the Googles and the Amazons of the world used to be, right? They're gone, right? We've got Chipotle and Booking are the massive stock price ones. We did much less trades on those this year than ever before, okay? We've put very strict, tight rules in on our aggressive trades, meaning we only take these as aggressive trades. Right, PK, I'm getting there, right? We only take the larger price stocks. Anything over $1,000, I only take as aggressive. That's, I think, 2 years ago we instituted that, right? That has been a really good rule for us, right? That prevents the $50,000 and $80,000 risk you're taking on a trade when you go with a swing trade, when you buy an option 6 or 7 or 8 weeks in advance, right? And spend $180 on it or $90 on it, whatever it is, just ridiculous amounts of money, depending on time of year. Most of our trades, if you see nothing filled in these columns here, G and H, right? Or any of the others, anything between G and N, but you can't have anything in M and N if you don't have it also in G and H. It's got to be there first, okay? So if you see most of our trades, we have nothing here, which means either A, the trade went against us, or B, it was a day trade, right? You could see we had a couple of trades in November. There's another November one. And then we go back. Ooh, there's September, which means we did not have a swing trade in October. I mean, in November. November? No, not my bad. We're good. We closed that, so we took that trade for Square on September 14th. We closed part of it out on the 18th, the 20th, and the 22nd of September. And the last contract we closed out on the 6th of October, right? So we got one off in October. November, we had a couple of trades in there for September, right? August, we had one. July, we had three. June, we had one. And then that's going to be most of it for the entire year, right? If we look very closely, that was it. Nothing the first 5 months of the year where we did a swing trade. And actually, you could really call it 6 months, right? Because, well, yeah, because we didn't really do a June trade until the 21st. So almost 6 months of the year, we did nothing as far as swing trades go, okay? And we started stepping our toe into the water for it, right? If we look, and again, these are all example purposes. They're all for education. I don't have November numbers on here yet. I need to do the Novembers, okay? But if you look, and you're not going to be able to see all of it no matter what I do, right? But if you look, you could see the number of winning trades, percentage of winning trades, and so forth, right? So if we look at this column here, just on the top portion, don't worry about the bottom. I just use that for a different slide. So, but it's the same exact information. You see the numbers are exactly the same. So you can see 59 trades, 32 trades, 28 trades, 57 trades. We've got a decent amount of trades in there, right? Overall percentage of winners was 79%. Ones that were losers was 17%, and 3.82%, call it 4% of trades that were break even of our trades, right? Again, no November in there yet in our numbers, okay? We have definitely seen a slowdown in the end of the year. So it has been tougher in this market to find really good trades that set up properly. And that is because when you have positions in the market that are explosive directional moves without any pullback, it makes it very hard to get a clear and concise entry, right? 500 trades this year is proof in the pudding that clear and concise entry works. Without a doubt, it works, right? So that is something that for sure, you know, ding, 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 just ran the gamut of over and over and over again, proved itself of, yes, thank you. You did exactly what I was expecting it to, or exactly what I needed it to do. Okay. Let's go back, all right? We look at things such as gold and silver. I get that question all the time. And there's something out there called the gold-silver ratio. You can look for that. It's free. It's out there. There's plenty of websites that list it out there. And they'll have different ratings that they talk about. But basically, it is a ratio that calculates how expensive gold is compared to silver. When the ratio gets above 80, it is believed that silver is very inexpensive and you're better off buying silver, right? You don't get the explosive moves where you go from 1,700 to 2,000, right? You get the move where you go from $18 an ounce to $24 an ounce, right? You're not getting this massive dollar amount, but you are getting a good percentage move, right? So silver right now, the gold ratio, one place I looked, it was 84, 85, 86, somewhere around there, 84 to 86, I forget exactly, was the ratio going right now, which means if you're looking to buy, silver is the way to go. There are some that still say that the ratio at this point in time is not very valid. Some will argue that it's not valid since we came off of the gold standard, and that may very well be true. I've always used it to help me determine if I'm buying gold or if I'm buying silver at that time, right? I'm a very big silver buyer. I like silver. You know, you can use gold, and unless you're looking to make big purchases, you know, having a 1 ounce gold piece at $2,000 is a lot harder to break than trying to sell a 1 ounce silver coin for 24 bucks, right? And so when it comes down to, I need money to get some groceries, it may cost you $2,000 for, you know, bread, because that's the only thing you have to barter with is one gold coin. Okay. And the person ain't willing to break it any other way because they got nothing else to give you. So I do like the gold silver ratio. I do believe that hedging your position is important. And as much as I am a huge focal point on what goes on the S&P 500, I also believe if there are other stocks that you are heavily trading, that you should be looking at that index. For me this year, it was NASDAQ. I've always looked at it, but never as heavily as I did this last year, right? This last year, the NASDAQ itself became very important because of one reason. Because of what I think that I did that was the absolute best which was try to break down the noise. What do I mean? There's a lot of great trading stocks out there. Many of them we follow in power option plays. Some are lower priced, that ones that we don't follow, right? But I believe that honing in on a list is critical. My list of 20 is very important to me. But what's more important than that list of 20 is my top 3, which still to this day, and has been for a good portion of this year, are listen to me, Netflix, Nvidia, Tesla. Those 3 are the most important stocks to me. They're the ones that I focus on the most day in and day out to look for. Those are the ones when we look for, again, non-funded trades, we look for the setups. Those are the first stocks as my go-to stocks. I learned their heartbeat, right? How they eat, how they drink, how they sleep, how they breathe. I know everything about them. So when a pattern sets up, I go, oh, I've seen that before. I think it does this next, right? And I can get out of position number 1 in the chair and into position number 2 much quicker by doing that. Not really a sector, Darrell, at least not in one that I know. Does anybody know of a sector that's tracking crypto that's any good? You know, we've got this, oh man, what is the name of that one? This ETF that came out for crypto, video or something. It just never took off. They ripped everybody off with the price in the beginning, and it just went and died. So I'm not really sure, Darla, there. Brendan said fix, FIX. Okay, I'm not familiar with it, but so let's look at some of the things you guys listed here. So, and I'm not going to read all of them. I'll read some of them, but Stephanie wrote Wright learned so much about options and made a profit for the first time of the year. Nice, very good. What was wrong? What wasn't using consistent stops in the beginning of the year? I am now. How much has Mastermind Group helped with that for you, Stephanie? Let's see. Barry said, too often frozen in wrong direction, 4 steps up and 3 steps down, or 3 steps up and 4 steps back. Got it. And that's the wrong, right? Excellent. Good. Scott said, I am patting myself on the back on my mRNA trade. It was a great spread. It was a spread, rather. It was a spread that was put to me at $90. I was able to reduce my cost basis down to $75.34, selling covered calls for the last month. By the time it was called away from me at 80 on Friday, I was able to remain calm when the stock was put to me. There you go. And you knew exactly how to handle it, Scott. So that is phenomenal, right? Yeah, Stephanie said so much, right? So much. And the answer so much is what the Mastermind has done. Guys, the biggest thing that I could tell you for success, whether you join our mastermind or you are learning it on your own or whatever it is, the biggest thing that I see, the successes that take place in our mastermind, inside of our inner circle, the biggest things that benefit individuals there in those 2 groups is the constant promotion and education of increasing that learning curve to the next level, right? Inside of Mastermind, we are focused constantly on moving that needle by teaching you not only a strategy, but by taking as many golden nuggets as we can over the course of an entire quarter on that one strategy and hitting you with it. Bam, 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 bam. Each week is another nugget, another review on the strategy that we just taught, right? Making sure that by the time that quarter is over, we've given you everything possible that I possibly can. You know, my team, between myself, Trip, Amelia, making sure that we get you on phone calls and just driving everything home makes a tremendous, tremendous difference. Inner Circle, I could not be more proud, right? What they have accomplished in the trading room with Amelia's, oversight there of creating a trading strategy using Hakanashi, right, has blown me away. Absolute blown me away, right? So when you look at that trading room as a company, one of the most successful things we're seeing happen out there, and it's in Inner Circle, is the trading room. When you look at Mastermind, the way we've gone this year and really dove head first into that core education, we've always done the core, but I'm not letting anybody get away with it this year. We go every single week and we keep building on that core. Every week. We did covered calls. We practiced them for a couple of weeks. We got into naked puts and we did Wheel of Fortune, practice a little bit, and then we dug in on diagonal spreads, right? So just monstrous. And then we're already setting up the next education, which is in the first week or two of January. I forget exactly what it is. It's already on the calendar as a 2-week training. So Stephanie said, Amelia is kicking my ass in mentor classes. Yeah, well, but in a good way, right, Stephanie? She's keeping you to task. She is a taskmaster. She's keeping you to task, and she's making sure that when you said last week, last month, your last meeting, I'm going to do this, she's following up and said, hey, I got a note here. You were going to do this. Did you get a chance? If not, and she's not mean about it, but she's going to remind you that the only way that you're going to become successful at this is if you keep pushing, right? And it's a journey, right? No one gets there overnight. Yep. And Scott said, I also give credit to the inner circle for helping me stay on course. It looks like this year will be a profitable one on my trades overall. There you go. There you go. And it's Scott, it's Will, it's Tripp, it's Daniel, it's Roman. There's just Rick. There's so many individuals that we're seeing such great things happen for. Same thing inside of Inner Circle. You could see the light bulbs go on just by the questions in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Awesome. Yes, I see it. I got it. That, right? But the biggest takeaway that I can give you is the things that I see that work the best is when someone is engaged on a regular basis, right? Meaning that for myself included, when I'm out there on a daily basis and I am focused on what's happening in the market, I do better as a trader. I do better as a coach. I feel better as an individual, right? I get, as a business owner, and there's where the rub is, right? Because for me, what am I dealing with, right? I'm looking at 3 different quadrants here, right? So over here, I've got business owner. Over here, I've got a trader. And over here, I've got a coach, right? And I have to do all 3 of these. And if you look at, a full bucket, if my bucket is full here, and let's just say that's the midpoint of our bucket right in there, right? If I can get my bucket, up to that halfway point on trading and a little bit less on coaching and a little bit less on business, my trading excels, right? When I put too much time into the business, right? Trading is where it suffers, okay? Coaching is coaching. That level is always going to be consistent week after week because I do the same amount of trainings each month. So that really doesn't change very much for me. The business is what makes it the complexity for me, right? So how do I get myself out of the business more? Well, I hire people like my assistant, who now is handling massive amounts of tasks for me that I never even see again, right? We already have all the expense reports for 2024 filled in, not with the dollar amounts, but created, done. This is hours of my time that I used to spend. She's already got all of this done. It's put together, it's ready. The calculations have all been checked and triple checked, right? And now it's just a matter of taking whatever we've got as far as receipts and dumping them in. So I've said this a million times before. If you don't want to make $25 an hour, then don't do $25 an hour work. Hire someone out to do it. And it's not that I haven't tried. We've hired assistants before. And I had a phenomenal one. But she has a child with special needs, and a company offered her a much better deal because of the healthcare package that they were offering her, where what she was spending in healthcare was killing her. And now she spends nothing for it. So I've got an assistant now that is fantastic, newer, right? Training her on it. She's with us 3 months now, but she does an amazing job for me, right? So you hire that out. You get rid of those tasks. You'll get someone to cut the grass. You go get someone to shovel the snow, right? Don't go out and shovel the snow. Go ahead and trade, right? And look, for me, yeah, I can't even show it to you guys. I'll show it to you next year because I took a picture of it today, right? So my daughter leaves the house at 7 o'clock in the morning for work, my youngest. And she comes running back in. Dad, you got to come outside. What happened? The basketball hoop fell down on your car. And I look out the window and there's the basketball hoop leaned over on my vehicle. All right. Looks like it's probably damaged, cracked window and all that other stuff. Someone was watching me, I'll tell you why. Because the wind pushed it, I guess, and the pipe just kind of gave a little bit and it fell down and landed on the roof rack of the truck and did not put, knock wood, one scratch on the truck. but I spent almost a half an hour, 40 minutes outside today getting it off, because if I had left it and waited for someone to come and take it off, it would have damaged the vehicle because the wind was still blowing it. Right? That would not have been fun. Right? But I was here, I was home. I had the ability to do that because of trading, because of what we do here. Okay. Excellent. So just dig in, put your plan together. We talked a couple of weeks ago about New Year's resolutions. You don't have to wait till New Year's. Don't. Right? Resolve. It doesn't matter when. Resolve to get it started. You know, one of the the marketing masterminds that I belong to, one of the individuals in that group follows on with some of the trading stuff that I do, and had commented on that power hour that we did where we talked about the New Year's resolutions. And they said, you're so right. You know, I never thought of it like that before. It's always been, we do this on this date. All right, we're going to start this on this date. Oh, I understand there are things in business you have to do that with, right? We're not going to hire someone until third quarter, right? Or because that's when a new project starts and we think we're going to need that person there. I get all that, right? But when it is, I need to resolve to do better at trading, at losing weight, or whatever it is, it's not next week, next month, next year. Ooh, 39 days from now is when the new year comes. So that's when it'll be. No, today is the day. Today's the day. Tear the damn Band-Aid off, right? But they followed along with that and said, Rob, that whole string, they repeated that type of process to their own group, which has nothing to do with the stock market, but to their own group about resolving to do better in their own businesses. They're a business coach, that company, right? That particular individual, right? And not in the US either, in Europe, right? Excellent. Guys, was this helpful to kind of walk through the goods, the bads? Give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. And don't worry, Lee is programmed to delete all of you that put in, and knock out all of you that put in a 2. You put a 2, he's going to eject. No, I'm kidding. Awesome review. Good. Yep, I appreciate it. And now you got to do it for yourself. You got to sit down, quiet space, take 15 minutes, half an hour, take a piece of paper, draw the line down the center, what worked, what didn't. Right? For your trading business. What worked out, what did not. All right? You can get there. You truly can. You absolutely can get there if you want to. Listen, there are some of you that are struggling right now and you're trying to make that decision of what's next, right? Let me take a look at something here. Give me a second. I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth here. Hold on. All right. Lee, do me a favor. Two favors, please. One is talk to Amelia about Darlow's looking for a mentor session for Mastermind. And then so you can do that. So we'll pass that along, Darlow. Okay. Number 2, Lee, could you grab the link to my calendar? Guys, I'm going to drop that in here now. If I've got a couple of spots this week that are open, if someone wants, not today, please don't book it today. Just I'm going to cancel it if you do, even though there's slots open. I have too much going on today. Family member that I got to do some stuff with right now. And once we're done here, so I won't be able to do anything with it today. So, but if you're interested in learning more about me helping you, me and my team and I helping you get to that next level, we could do that. Get on my calendar. Let's talk about what it'll take to get you there for next year, right? And again, for next year, you'll start the beginning of the year because we're shut down next week. So there's really nothing happening next week. Gene said, what are your 3 go-to stocks again? It is Tesla, Nvidia, and Netflix. Right? Tesla, Nvidia, and Netflix. Right? Speaking of stocks, I've got about 5 minutes left. Go ahead and tell me the ones you want to look at. I'm probably not going to get to all of them, but I will get in as many as I possibly can. Is that the symbol, Kevin? AI? Or do you want to look at actual AI? All right. So, right, which is C3. Okay. Because I'm all about AI these days. A day doesn't go by that we don't talk about it. We wrapped up our main meeting this morning, and it ended up with me talking about what we're doing in AI. So tough call right now, right? There's a lot of stuff happening out there right now when it comes to AI that is it right? Is it wrong? Is it real? Is it true? We just found out that Google, when they demoed their platform the other day, they were not live responses. They were pre-recorded responses that were being sent in by their engineers in the background. So they really lied to the public of what it was showing you, okay, which is just dead wrong, okay? But there's so much out there right now, so much talk out there. I think the landscape, you're going to see we had the explosion here, right? I think we're done with that for a little bit, right? If we look, let me grab an option chain. All right, and let's see what we've got here on AI. I don't normally pull the option up on it, and I haven't looked at this in a while, so let's see. All right, let's go to the option chain. All right, so the stock is 30.85. It falls within the range of covered calls, okay? Price range of covered calls, right? If I were looking to do something like this, I would look to sell a naked put first. I'm going to look for about a 20 delta. So I've got a delta of 19. I can get 26 cents for the 29s. All right, so someone could make me buy the stock at 29. If they did, I can immediately turn around. And right now, just based on where things are now, my 40 delta, which I don't have, I've got a 35. 42 is too high. My 35 delta gives me 56 cents of premium taken in. That's for a week, right? So there's still really good premium on this stock. And the reason I wanted to look at it is we don't have a great move in stock right now. We're up, but we're really not. We're kind of sideways up a little bit here and there, everywhere, right? So, I like this a lot, Kevin, for things like that, right? For the Wheel of Fortune. Sell the naked put, let them put the stock to you, and go ahead and write covered calls. Granted, the position still needs to remain bullish. We fail and fall below our moving averages. It is time to go, okay, at that point. So I hope that helps. QQQ. All right, Brandon. So we've got a really nice move on the Qs. Okay, that 408.23 level is still the bane of existence. That's what we've got to break above. Or for me, ideally, we'd pull back to the 401 level first, right? That's where our moving average is. That's where our fib line is. If we can get that in a balance, that would be great. All right. And then I think the last one's going to be coin. Coinbase, Will in our inner circle, who does a massive amount of trades every month. This is one of the stocks he looks at and trades regularly. Okay. So we had a nice pullback today to the moving average and a bounce, but we just got above that 148.43. If we could retest that and bounce, 156.5 is support. I would look at it as an aggressive trade because we're still at a rank of 3. I'm sorry, rank of 2. Our moving average is nowhere near the fib line. It's in the middle of our fib lines, right? So that makes it non-existent. So we're only relying on one source, the fibs, not the moving average, which would give us 2. Okay. So Lee just dropped in that link, folks, to my calendar. If for some reason it doesn't work or you saw the slots get filled up, by all means, just send an email into the office and I'll work with them to see what's available that I can put people into. Okay. But here we are. Brenda, you're quite welcome. So, it is traditional, right? Happy holidays. Okay. For me, it is Merry Christmas because that's the holiday that we celebrate. Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, whatever your holiday is. I hope it's a great one. Bottom line is you've got some decisions to make on how you turn this upcoming year into your best year ever, right? And you are the only one that can do that, right? My week that I want to take rest and take it easy and so forth this week, because if you book next week, I'm just deleting it. I'm not meeting anybody next week at all, okay? I'm only giving it to you guys that you could book it this week. If you want to meet and talk on how Mastermind can help move you to that next level, I will do it this week for you. As crazy as this week is, and I don't want to, for the end of the year here, since I'm pushing so hard with you on this, I will do that. There's no hard press here, guys. Is it a good fit? Does it work for you? Does it work for us? If it doesn't, then it doesn't, and that's okay. Linda, a lot of Merry Christmases from everybody. Thank you. I appreciate a lot of shout outs back to the students from each other. wishing everybody else a happy holiday. So everybody have a great rest of your year, not just day, right? Year. It's the last power hour for the year. So God bless. And I will see you all at our next one. Folks, we'll leave the room open for a few minutes that you can grab that link. Take care, and I will talk soon. All right. Bye for now.